Dillon Gabriel just set the internet on fire, and not in a good way. On live TV, he decided to throw a jab at Shedeur Sanders, and chaos erupted faster than anyone could have imagined. This wasn't a subtle dig or a private joke between teammates. No, Dillon chose the brightest lights, the biggest audience, and the national stage to test the waters. And the waters came crashing down. Fans were stunned, commentators were scrambling, and social media instantly transformed into a battlefield. Within minutes, Dillon's name was trending for all the wrong reasons, while Shedeur's loyal army mobilized like an unstoppable force, dissecting every word, every smirk, every micro-expression. Here's the kicker. Dillon didn't even deliver a clever insult. It wasn't witty. It wasn't memorable. It was the verbal equivalent of soggy bread. And yet, somehow, it blew up spectacularly. The moment perfectly captured a classic lesson in sports and fame. Challenging. Someone like Shedeur Sanders isn't just risky, it's career-altering. Shedeur isn't merely a player. He's a movement, a brand, a headline magnet who can dominate every highlight reel without lifting more than a finger. Compare that to Dillon, sweating under the studio lights, trying to get attention that just wasn't meant for him. And the reactions? Pure chaos. The internet didn't just talk about it, it devoured it. Memes, GIFs, TikToks, reaction clips, and relentless commentary turned Dillon's misstep into a full-blown cultural event. What was intended to be a moment of boldness quickly became a cautionary tale for every athlete, journalist, and fan watching. Meanwhile, Shedeur sat back, smiled, and let the world do the talking for him. Silence became the ultimate flex, proving once again that influence doesn't need drama. It breeds it naturally. By the end of this, one thing is clear. Dillon Gabriel wanted to make a mark. He got one all right, but not in the way he hoped. What started as a seemingly small comment on live TV has grown into a phenomenon that merges sports, pop culture, and internet madness. The question now isn't whether Dillon can recover, it's whether anyone will ever forget the day he tried to challenge Shedeur Sanders and ended up becoming the main character in a viral disaster. Dillon Gabriel just made a bold move that instantly backfired. On live TV, he threw what he probably thought was a clever jab at Shedeur Sanders. But instead of looking confident, he sparked chaos. This wasn't some casual comment behind closed doors or a private joke with teammates. This was national television, with millions watching. Fans were stunned, social media exploded, and Dillon's name was trending for all the wrong reasons. Shedeur's loyal fanbase mobilized immediately, dissecting every word, every expression, and every nuance of his delivery. The funniest part? Dillon's roast wasn't even clever. There was no spark, no memorable punchline, just awkward phrasing that made him an instant target. Meanwhile, Shedeur didn't have to say a word. His presence alone, calm and confident, let the internet run wild. Memes, GIFs, TikToks, and reaction videos turned Dillon's misstep into a full-blown cultural event. What was meant to grab attention ended up damaging his reputation, proving one thing: challenging Shedeur Sanders publicly isn't just risky, it's career-altering. Dillon wanted a moment in the spotlight, and he got it, but at the cost of his image, leaving Shedeur to sit back, smile, and let the world handle the fallout. Shedeur Sanders isn't just a quarterback, he's a phenomenon. Every time he steps on the field, it's like the NFL and pop culture collided. Ratings spike, stadiums fill to capacity, and cameras follow his every move. Highlights loop endlessly, and social media lights up as if Shedeur himself flipped the switch. Meanwhile, anyone who tries to challenge him, even in a seemingly harmless comment, quickly learns the hard way that his influence extends far beyond the game. Dillon Gabriel found this out the moment he opened his mouth. The Shedeur effect is real and brutal. Trash talkers either apologize on camera, backpedal, or sit quietly while Shedeur quietly dominates. It's not just a rivalry anymore, it's a pattern. Dillon didn't just poke the bear, he camped in its den, waved a flag, and dared the world to watch. The internet responded instantly. Fans became amateur detectives, pulling clips, screenshots, and past interviews to prove Dillon's misstep. Memes spread like wildfire. TikTok soundbites exploded, and what should have been a short-lived comment turned into a full-scale viral event. Shedeur doesn't chase clout. Clout chases him. He doesn't need to respond, and that's the genius of his brand. Silence alone becomes a statement. A reminder that influence doesn't require drama. Every highlight he posts, every smirk he flashes only adds fuel to his growing empire, leaving Dillon scrambling in the aftermath. It's a brutal lesson. Stepping into Shedeur's orbit without caution doesn't make you bold. It makes you a cautionary tale. The moment Dillon Gabriel made that comment, the internet erupted. Social media didn't just react, it went into full investigative mode. Shedeur Sanders fans transformed into meme creators, amateur detectives, and viral content machines all at once. Clips were clipped, screenshots were shared, and every twitch of Dillon's expression became fodder for jokes. Within minutes, his awkward smirk, half-hearted delivery, and poor timing were immortalized in GIFs, TikTok audios, and reaction memes. What was meant to be a quick jab turned into a digital spectacle. Fans dissected every word, every look, and every previous play, creating a chaos tornado Dillon never saw coming. Overnight, he went from college quarterback to the main character in the internet's favorite soap opera, trending for all the wrong reasons. Every comment, post, and viral clip piled onto his reputation, showing how quickly one misstep can spiral in today's online world. Meanwhile, Shedeur didn't have to say a single word. His silence amplified the chaos, proving that true influence doesn't need commentary. The internet did his work for him, turning Dillon's ill-timed roast into a full-blown cultural moment. Lesson learned. In Shedeur's orbit, the online world doesn't forgive, and it certainly doesn't forget. Dillon Gabriel's misstep didn't just make headlines, it sparked a full-blown PR crisis. His team instantly scrambled, drafting apology posts, prepping carefully worded statements, and trying to steer the narrative before the internet had a chance to run wild. Every interview became a minefield. Reporters asked the same question over and over. What did you mean by that? Comment about Shedeur Sanders. Each time, Dillon had to navigate the fallout in real time, hoping to sound composed while his reputation crumbled. Meanwhile, Shedeur's camp stayed perfectly silent. No statements, no responses, no distractions. Just a calm presence that let the internet handle Dillon's self-inflicted chaos. Fans, analysts, and meme creators seized the moment, turning his failed attempt at a roast into viral content that spread across TikTok, Twitter, and even late-night comedy clips. Every passing hour made Dillon look less like a rising star and more like a cautionary tale. The contrast couldn't be sharper. Shedeur's brand continued to grow, effortless and unbothered, while Dillon wrestled with the consequences of one poorly timed comment. In the world of high-profile football and social media, a single moment of misjudgment can define your narrative, and Dillon was learning that lesson the hard way. Dillon Gabriel's offhand comment didn't just create chaos online, it carried over onto the field in ways he probably didn't anticipate. Every time he stepped onto the turf, the weight of that one misstep followed him. Fans in the stands weren't just cheering for touchdowns anymore. Some couldn't resist holding up signs referencing the infamous roast, while others whispered reminders of the viral moment straight into his ear. Commentators brought it up during replays, keeping the story alive and reminding viewers that Dillon's actions had consequences far beyond the press conference. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders continued his usual dominance, seemingly unaffected. He didn't respond, didn't engage, and didn't let Dillon's antics interfere with his performance. Every touchdown, every precise throw, every calm smile only amplified his power. He proved that influence and respect aren't earned through loud statements. They're earned through consistency and results. Dillon, on the other hand, had inadvertently become the cautionary tale that everyone referenced when discussing what not to do in front of millions. The fallout extended to Dillon's teammates and coaches too. Every meeting, practice, and press interaction carried an undercurrent of tension. Coaches had to navigate questions about his focus, leadership, and maturity, while teammates observed the unspoken lessons in humility and timing. What should have been an opportunity to impress and secure his spot became a constant reminder of how one public misjudgment can ripple across an entire organization. Even the NFL scouts weren't blind to the spectacle. They watch more than stats. They're evaluating character, poise, and decision-making under pressure. And in this case, Dillon's choices offered plenty of material for discussion. While he worked to regain composure and perform on the field, Shedeur's silent dominance continued, showing the stark contrast between reckless boldness and calculated mastery. In the end, the field mirrored the digital chaos. Dillon was playing under the shadow of his viral blunder, while Shedeur's star power remained untouchable. It was a live-action lesson in consequences. In football, just as online, actions speak louder than words. Shedeur Sanders didn't need to respond to Dillon Gabriel's roast. His silence spoke volumes. Every play he made, every smile he flashed, and every calm gesture on the sideline only reinforced his status. While Dillon scrambled to manage the fallout, Shedeur quietly turned the moment into a showcase of dominance. Fans didn't just respect him, they rallied behind him like a movement, amplifying his brand without him lifting a finger. This is the difference between chasing attention and commanding it. Shedeur's influence isn't built on drama or loud statements. It's built on performance, consistency, and an understanding of timing. Every touchdown and highlight reel reminded everyone why he's more than a player. He's a phenomenon. His reputation grows not because he speaks, but because the world is compelled to notice him. Meanwhile, Dillon's attempt at a viral moment backfired spectacularly. What he thought would earn him attention ended up highlighting Shedeur's effortless control and power. The lesson is clear. When you step into Shedeur's orbit, the spotlight shifts instantly, and any misstep is magnified. Every fan, journalist, and teammate witnesses the contrast, reinforcing Shedeur's legendary status while Dillon navigates the chaos he created. In football and culture alike, influence isn't about who yells the loudest. It's about who commands respect with minimal effort. Shedeur Sanders embodies that principle. One viral comment didn't diminish him, it elevated him further, turning Dillon's miscalculation into a masterclass in silent power and legacy. The saga between Dillon Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders isn't just a story about a rookie quarterback misfiring on live television. It's a lesson in consequences, timing, and the real meaning of influence. Dillon's attempt to grab the spotlight and roast Shedeur didn't just backfire. It became a masterclass in how quickly one misjudged moment can spiral out of control. Every fan, every social media user, and every commentator dissected his words, replayed his expressions, and turned his bold comment into a viral spectacle. What Dillon thought would elevate him instead made him a cautionary tale overnight. Meanwhile, Shedeur Sanders didn't need to lift a finger. He didn't retaliate, post, or make statements. He simply continued doing what he does best, playing at an elite level, executing with precision, and maintaining composure under pressure. In doing so, he reinforced a critical principle. Power doesn't always come from words. Sometimes it comes from silence, consistency, and letting your actions speak louder than anyone's commentary. While Dillon floundered in interviews and navigated the whirlwind of memes, Shedeur's star continued to rise, proving that influence isn't granted by chaos. It's earned through performance, discipline, and unshakable confidence. The broader takeaway is clear. For anyone in sports, media, or life, visibility and attention are double-edged swords. When you step into the public eye, every choice, every word, every gesture can ripple far beyond your intentions. Dillon wanted a moment of recognition, but the lesson he and everyone watching learned is that fame without strategy or self-awareness is fragile. On the other hand, Shedeur demonstrated how to turn the same moment into an advantage, using poise and patience to cement his legacy even further. This story transcends football. It's a case study in humility, timing, and the power dynamics of attention. Dillon Gabriel's misstep will be remembered not for the play he made on the field, but for the moment he underestimated the ripple effect of his words. Shedeur Sanders, by contrast, continues to be the benchmark for composure and influence. Proof that real power often works quietly, letting others create the spectacle while you remain untouchable. In the end, this episode is a vivid reminder. In the arena of public perception, actions always outweigh intentions, and timing can make or break a legacy.